Have you ever wondered why some homegrown tomatoes taste so much better than the ones from the store? Not just a little better, but richer, sweeter, juicier, and somehow more alive. The kind of tomato you slice open and immediately smell summer. That kind of flavor does not come from a chemical spray or some expensive fertilizer from a garden center. In many Amish gardens, tomatoes are grown the old-fashioned way, with simple natural methods, careful timing, and a deep understanding of the soil. And what makes this so interesting is that the Amish have been using these methods for generations. They are not chasing the newest gardening trend. They are not depending on complicated products. They are working with nature, not against it. So today, I want to share the Amish tomato growing methods that can help you grow stronger plants, healthier soil, and tomatoes with real flavor. These are simple techniques, but they can completely change the way your garden produces. The first Amish method starts with the way the tomato seedling goes into the ground. Most gardeners dig a hole straight down, place the seedling inside, cover the roots, water it, and move on. That is the usual way. But the Amish often do something that looks completely wrong when you see it for the first time. They lay the tomato plant sideways in a shallow trench. At first, almost looks like they're damaging the plant. The stem is placed along the soil, most of it is covered, and only the top leaves are left above the ground. But tomatoes are not like many other plants. A tomato stem can grow roots from almost any buried part. So when the Amish bury more of the stem, the plant creates a much larger root system. And that root system is everything. More roots mean the plant can reach more water. More roots mean it can absorb more nutrients. More roots also mean the plant becomes stronger, steadier, and better prepared for hot weather, wind, and dry soil. A weak root system gives you a weak plant. A strong root system gives the tomato a real chance to thrive. There's another reason this method works so well. Shallow soil warms up faster in spring than deeper soil. So when the tomato is planted sideways in a trench, the buried stem sits in warmer ground. That helps the plant wake up faster and grow with more energy early in the season. It may look strange, but once you understand what is happening underground, the method makes perfect sense. Before planting, the Amish also use something almost everyone has in the kitchen: eggshells. Instead of throwing them away, they save them, dry them, crush them, and add them to the planting area. It is simple, but it has a real purpose. Eggshells contain calcium, and calcium is very important for tomatoes. If you have ever grown tomatoes and seen a dark, sunken patch on the bottom of the fruit, you have probably seen blossom end rot. It can ruin a tomato just when it looks like the harvest is going well. One of the reasons this happens is that the plant is not getting calcium properly. So the Amish use crushed eggshells as a slow, natural calcium source. But the way you prepare the eggshells matters. If the pieces are too large, they break down very slowly. The Amish style is practical, so the shells are usually crushed as finely as possible. The smaller the pieces, the faster they can begin to help the soil. Some people crush them by hand, some use a rolling pin, and some grind them until they're almost like powder. There's another small benefit too. Crushed eggshells can help protect young tomato seedlings from certain crawling pests. The sharp edges make the area around the stem uncomfortable for soft-bodied pests to cross. It is not a perfect shield, and it is not magic, but it is another natural layer of protection. And the best part is that it costs nothing. Another Amish method is companion planting. The Amish do not always grow tomatoes alone in empty rows. They often grow them near plants that help protect them, support them, and improve the growing environment. This is one of the smartest parts of their gardening style because it uses the garden itself as a natural support system. Marigolds are often planted near tomatoes because their strong scent can confuse certain pests. They also bring color into the garden and attract useful insects. Basil is another classic companion for tomatoes. Many gardeners believe tomatoes grown near basil develop better flavor, and basil can also help keep some destructive insects away. Then there are carrots, which do their work underground. Their roots help loosen the soil and create tiny channels that make it easier for tomato roots to move deeper. This kind of planting is not random. It is a small plant community. One plant helps with pests. Another helps with insects, and flavor. Another helps with the structure of the soil. The Amish understand that a garden works better when it behaves like a living system. Instead of forcing each plant to survive alone, they place plants together in ways that support the whole bed. After planting, the Amish often use a deep layer of straw mulch around the tomatoes. This is one of the simplest methods, but it can make a huge difference. Many gardeners either skip mulch completely or use only a thin layer. The Amish usually go much deeper because they're trying to protect the soil, not just decorate the garden bed. A thick layer of straw helps hold moisture in the soil. During hot summer days, bare soil dries out quickly. The sun hits it, the wind passes over it, and the water disappears before the roots can use it. But when the soil is covered with straw, moisture stays much longer. That means the tomato plants deal with less stress, especially during dry periods. Straw mulch also helps block weeds. And that matters because weeds are not just ugly. They compete with tomato plants for water, nutrients, and space. If the mulch is thick enough, many weeds never get enough light to grow. So instead of spending all your time pulling weeds, you can spend more time caring for the plants and harvesting ripe tomatoes. There is one important detail here. The straw should not be packed tightly against the main stem. Leave a little open space around the base of the plant. If wet mulch sits directly against the stem for too long, it can cause rot. The goal is to protect the soil, keep moisture steady, and keep weeds down, not to smother the plant. Another old Amish method uses something most people throw away: fish scraps. This may sound strange at first, but it is a powerful natural fertilizer. Fish heads, bones, and leftover pieces can be buried deep in the soil before planting. As they break down, they release nutrients slowly into the root zone. Tomatoes need steady feeding through the season, especially once they begin flowering and producing fruit. Fish scraps provide nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and trace minerals. It is like a slow-release fertilizer made by nature. Instead of giving the plant one strong push and then fading away, the fish material breaks down gradually and feeds the soil over time. Of course, the first thing most people worry about is the smell. That is understandable. Nobody wants a garden that smells like old fish. But when fish scraps are buried deep enough, the smell is usually not a problem. The soil covers the material, and the breakdown happens underground where the roots can eventually reach the nutrients. The key is not to leave anything near the surface. This method shows the Amish mindset very clearly. Nothing useful is wasted. What comes from nature returns to the soil. Instead of throwing away something full of nutrients, they turn it into food for the garden. That is one of the reasons their methods are so efficient. They are not always looking outside the farm for solutions. They use what they already have. Wood ash is another natural material the Amish use carefully. If you burn clean hardwood, the ash can be useful in the garden. It contains potassium, which tomatoes need for strong fruit development. It also contains calcium and can help adjust soil that is too acidic. But this is one method where more is definitely not better. Wood ash must be used lightly. A small dusting can help, but too much can make the soil too alkaline. And when the soil becomes too alkaline, tomato plants may struggle to absorb the nutrients they need, even if those nutrients are already present in the ground. It is also very important to use only clean hardwood ash. Ash from treated wood, painted wood, plywood, or anything with chemicals should never go into a vegetable garden. The Amish approach is natural, but it is also careful. Natural gardening does not mean throwing anything into the soil without thinking. Every material has to be used in the right way. Now we get to one of the strangest Amish tomato methods: comfrey. Comfrey is a leafy plant that grows quickly and comes back year after year. Many people walk past it without thinking much about it, but traditional gardeners value it because it pulls nutrients from deep in the soil and stores them in its leaves. To make comfrey, the leaves are packed into a bucket, covered with water, and left to sit. After a couple of weeks, the liquid becomes dark, strong, and honestly, very unpleasant smelling. There is no need to make it sound nicer than it is. It smells bad, but that smell means the leaves are breaking down and releasing nutrients into the water. The finished liquid is diluted with water and poured around the base of tomato plants. It feeds the plants during the time when they need extra strength for flowers and fruit. Gardeners who use comfrey tea often notice more blossoms, stronger growth, and better production. It is one of those old methods that may not look pretty, but it works. And this is an important point. Natural gardening is not always clean and perfect. Compost can smell. Fish scraps can smell. Fermented plant fertilizer can smell. Many of the most useful natural processes are messy because they are alive. They involve breakdown, bacteria, moisture, and time. That is how nature recycles nutrients. Once comfrey is planted, it can come back every year. That means one small patch can become a long-term source of free fertilizer. This is exactly the kind of practical thinking the Amish are known for. They build systems that keep working season after season. They do not want to depend on buying the same product every year if the garden can produce what it needs. Another Amish method is hand-pollination. This one surprises people because it has nothing to do with fertilizer, soil, or mulch. It has to do with paying attention to the flowers. Tomato flowers can pollinate themselves, but the pollen still needs movement. In nature, bees help with this by vibrating the flowers. Wind can help too, but sometimes the weather is rainy, too humid, too still, or there simply are not enough bees around. When that happens, pollination can be weaker and fewer flowers turn into tomatoes. The Amish solve this in a very simple way. During flowering, they gently tap the flower clusters. Some people use their fingers, some use a small stick, and some simply shake the plant lightly. The goal is not to damage the plant. The goal is just to create a small vibration that helps the pollen move. This does not take much time, but it can make a real difference. It is especially useful during seasons when pollinators are not very active. And again, this shows the deeper Amish approach to gardening. They do not wait for perfect conditions. They observe the plant, notice what might be missing, and help in a simple, practical way. When you look at all these methods together, you begin to see the larger lesson. The Amish are not growing better tomatoes because they have one magical secret. They are growing better tomatoes because they understand the whole system. They think about roots, soil warmth, calcium, moisture, weeds, nutrients, companion plants, natural fertilizers, and pollination. Modern gardening often teaches people to look for a quick fix. If the plant looks weak, buy a bottle. If pests appear, buy a spray. If the harvest is small, buy stronger fertilizer. But the Amish way asks a different question. What does the plant actually need, and how can the garden provide it naturally? That is why these methods are so powerful. They are not just separate tricks. They work together. Sideways planting builds a stronger root system. Eggshells support healthy fruit. Companion plants protect and balance the garden. Straw mulch keeps moisture in the soil. Fish scraps feed the plants slowly. Wood ash adds minerals when used carefully. Comfrey tea supports flowering and fruit production. Hand pollination helps more flowers become tomatoes. And the best part is that you do not need to do everything at once. If you're just starting, begin with the easiest methods. Plant your tomatoes sideways. Add finely crushed eggshells. Use straw mulch. Plant basil nearby. These changes alone can improve your results. Then, once you feel more confident, you could try the stronger traditional methods, like fish scraps, comfrey tea, and hand pollination. Gardening does not have to be rushed. The Amish did not build their knowledge overnight. It came from watching the land, learning from mistakes, and repeating what worked. So if you want tomatoes that are bigger, healthier, and more flavorful, maybe the answer is not another product from the store. Maybe the answer is older than that. Maybe it is in these simple Amish methods, where every scrap has a purpose, every plant has a role, and the soil is treated like something alive. Because when you grow tomatoes this way, you're not just growing a plant. You're building a system. And once that system starts working, the results can be incredible. Better roots, stronger plants, richer soil, more flowers, and finally, baskets of tomatoes that actually taste like tomatoes should taste.